account, download the app and use the promo code BBALL20. Do a $20 deposit, we'll match it, so your balance will be 40 plus we give Basketball New Zealand $20 as well. It's a pretty good offer.
So if a new customer signs up, they get a $20 bonus, plus Basketball New Zealand gets $20 as well.
That's right, Alex, it's a pretty good deal. Do remember, BBALL20 in the promo code when you download the app and put in an account. Enjoy it, have fun, basketball's a great game.
Tēnā koe, New Zealand basketball fans around the country. Welcome to the TSB Arena in the capital city, Wellington, New Zealand. We've got a big game for you tonight. The back-to-back NBL champions, the Cygnet Saints, taking on the red-hot 3-0 Taylor Bay Hawks. It's going to be a little barn burner. And we spoke to former assistant coach of the Saints, now head coach of the Hawks, Zico Coronel, earlier. Let's hear what he had to say.
Zico, thanks for joining us tonight, man, and congratulations on the head coaching gig, bro. How does it feel going from assistant coach to full-time gig for your first year?
I mean, we're very fortunate to have a really outstanding group of people that we've been able to assemble. So it's a pleasurable group to spend time with, and we're really trying to grow the culture and improve things in the Bay. And obviously they haven't been the best team the previous couple of years, but we've obviously got off to a good start, and I think we've made lots of strides as a franchise.
I was going to say, mate, off to a great start, 3-0. What's been the key to your guys' success so far?
I mean, probably the quality of our roster is a big factor in that. Against Southland, you know, we had a great home crowd. We executed pretty well our plan for the most part. Dion Brewster, of course, coming home to Wellington today, he's had blinder all season. On the road, you know, against Manawatu, we did what we needed to do on the first night of a back-to-back and preserve legs at the same time. And then against Taranaki, I mean, Trent Adam and his team, they played exceptionally well. Trent did a great job, and we showed some real resolve when we were down 15, and we kept our composure. We kept playing hard. We got 9 consecutive stops, I think, to work our way back into the game. And then we were able to close it out late against, I think, a Taranaki team that people are underestimating. And that win, I think, will look a lot better as the year progresses. People don't think it's maybe a great performance. I think people will find winning in Taranaki is a really good accomplishment.
Awesome. And just on the back of Dion being home, you spent many years down here in Wellington. How does it feel to be back?
I mean, it's a pleasurable experience to come back. 7 years with the Saints. And, you know, a lot of great memories and awesome people that I got to associate with and learn with, and 4 championships in that time. So, you know, it's a really fun thing to come back, and it's really cool to come back when you're proud of the group that you're with too, and you feel like you're coming back to your second hometown, and you feel proud to present what you've been working on, I guess, to the people that you've known for a number of years.
Awesome, bro. Yeah, well, welcome back, mate, and great job on the 3-0 so far. Have a good game.
Fella there, my co-commentator, the brother from another mother, Stu Carruthers. Looking forward to this game, mate?
Oh, this is going to be a great matchup, mate. This Bay Hawks off to a 3-0 start, and the Saints struggling a little bit with their defense, but these teams are very evenly matched, I think, tonight, mate.
Yeah, I suppose so. I'm not that confident that the Saints have got their identity together yet. We saw them go down against the Southland Sharks here at home a couple of weeks ago, and then eking out a narrow win against Waitakere. They were behind again for the first half, trailing the whole way, and then they got their act together. And this looked like they're still experimenting with lineups and with offensive options.
Yeah, and also, I mean, this team usually builds their identity around defense. It just seems like they haven't got that. They let the Sharks score 113 on them in game 1, and then obviously Waitakere put a bit of a track meet on them as well. So I agree, mate, 100%. They need to find their identity on D and then figure out who's going to be one of their, you know, first, second, and third options on the offensive side.
Yeah, at the moment it seems to be Shea Ili carrying the load, and he's an exceptionally skilled player, but he looks frustrated at times, having been called upon to make plays constantly and get them out of binds.
Well, I think he might just struggle a little bit, having to bring the ball up, beat full court presses, and then be asked to score 20, 25, 30 plus a night could weigh him down over the season, especially coming off a long breaker season and, of course, the Commonwealth Games. Maybe they need to ease his load a little bit.
Yeah, though he must feel pretty happy to be the league leader in points. He's averaging 30 points a game, and he's second in assists at 8 per encounter. LJ Peak is the guy they invested in this year, brought him out from, he was a Georgetown college player, he's from South Carolina, and he showed up, he's averaging 20 a game, definitely showed up in the Waitakere match. He gets to the rim with ruthless abandon.
And he's a freak athlete. He's getting his head up by the rim on some of these alley-oops and putback dunks. Yeah, he's an unbelievable athlete, mate. That's all I can say. Good
fella to watch. And it was encouraging to see Leon Henry start to get things going in the second half of that game.
Yeah, he got off to a pretty rough start in the first game. Obviously didn't score too many points, and usually the threes is bread and butter. He's been struggling this season so far, but hopefully we can see a little bit more offensive production from the captain.
Yeah, it just looked like the weight of the captaincy might have been playing on his mind. He was deferring to people, but then in that second half against Waitakere, he looked like he was annoyed that they were behind and started to take over and was getting to the rim, making plays and shooting the three. He had 20 in that game. Sean Bruce as well has proven to be a nice addition, the Australian guard for the Saints. He comes off the bench and a great sort of spark kind of guy, and he had 18 in the game against Waitakere. He is a great shooter from the outside, but he also leaks out, one of those seagulling type of dudes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, by the way, the Saints team is built. They're built to run and gun, mate. So they need to get their big boys on the on the glass, on the defensive glass, early kickouts and get into transition, and then just knuckle down on D. That's where they're going to win ball games this year.
The Hawks have been led by the inspired play of Dion Prewster this year, Wellington kid.
Yeah, Dion coming off up and down year with Nelson last year, coming this year, and looks like he's got a home with the Hawks. He's playing some of his best basketball. We were talking earlier about how controlled and how centered he looks this year.
Yeah, he's got a lovely change of pace, and they are quite a balanced squad. They've got people they can call on right across the bench. Rusbatch is a nice addition from the Rams.
Rusbatch, mate, he was Canterbury's kind of go-to guy. He was their season campaigner, certainly a veteran playing for the Tall Blacks nowadays. Yeah, he's a great addition to this Hawks team and a big reason for some of their success. He's part of that veteran leadership now, also with Jared Kenny.
Just a gritty character, doesn't like to lose.
No.
Jared Kenny, yeah, that guy can pass the rock.
Pass the rock, he's an athlete. He's been around the league forever as well. North Harbour boy, I believe.
The Hawks, this is part of a 3-game road trip. They last week took care of Manawatu on Thursday, then had a close win against New Plymouth on the Friday. Got by 3 points, the difference there. They had a big game from their Australian importer centre, Angus Brandt, who had 23 and 14 rebounds. He's a big unit. Prewster had 25 and 7 boards. Kenny with 14 and 5 assists. They had 52 points in the paint in that game, so that seems to be where they like to operate.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the way this team's built, much like I was talking about, the Saints are built to run. These guys are built to get the ball down low, post up, and get easy buckets inside. Maybe try to get to the line a little bit, slow this Wellington team down. Yeah, this Hawks team is certainly made up of some big monsters down low.
Yeah, they definitely like to get to the line. Prewster puts his head down a lot and just heads for the rim and forces the ref to make a call. Very good at that. He's got a James Harden-like rhythm to the way he steps in there and seems to attract fouls.
And very strong. Going to the rim, I think, is probably where he tends to operate because he gets a lot of and-ones. He can certainly shoot the 3 and step it out, so whatever he's got going, he's a nightmare to guard.
The Hawks are top of the table at 3-0. Sharks in the second spot, Southland 3-2. The Giants are 2-0. They are quite a threat this year. Apparently they've got things together after a rough year last year. Taranaki are in fourth at 1-1. They've got a better points differential than the Saints, so the Saints won't be happy to be sitting 5th on the table after a back-to-back championships and counting on a three-peat.
Yeah, I think it's probably a bit too early to start calling out the Saints. like we said earlier, they're trying to find their offensive identity and where they match up well on defense. KB is certainly a very, very seasoned coach, and yeah, I think they just have to trust the process, take it week by week, game by game. They've certainly got the personnel, so they'll come back strong, mate, I think.
Do they do things, Stu, you're a former player at this level, does the coach actually invest in kind of culture, team cultural time? Do you go 10-pin bowling or some kind of cliche like that?
Yeah, we used to, I mean, you certainly have a lot of team dinners, but I think for the most part it's the players that kind of have to build that culture. Coaches certainly have a big degree in that, but you've got to get on, you've got to click on the court as well as off the court to create a good chemistry. So as much as it's on the coach, it's certainly on the players to create that culture and have that transition on the court.
And having new imports certainly makes the dynamic interesting.
It does throw a bit of a spanner in the mix, especially if you're bringing back a lot of your core Kiwi guys. Throwing in new imports every year can certainly mess things up a little bit.
Here come the Saints starters. LJ Peak from Georgetown, referred to as the Hoya Destroyer. Jordan Ngatai, a guy who can do everything, a little bit of everything.
The Prince of Porirua, they call him. Certainly been asked to take on more of a scoring game this year.
Leon Henry, number 15, hopefully he can carry on the good play from the last game. There's Majuk, a big-time rebounder, low post player.
Just signed a one-year deal with the New Zealand Breakers. That's a great addition for him.
Yep, that's going to be an exciting season for Saints fans to follow Kevin Braswell and a number of these players. The starters for Hawke's Bay: Brant, Prewster, Russ Batch, and Jared Kenny. And I think that is, who is the fifth import? We'll certainly find out. Majuk to jump. See if he can get those size 17s off the ground.
He's an athlete as well, so I'm sure that won't be a problem.
Tip goes to Kenny though, quick ball to Russ Batch. On the post, that is Brant, the Aussie import. Lovely left hand hook off the spin.
Obviously where these guys want to operate, get the ball down low, lovely little hook shot.
Shea Ili gets it going early. He's always been a quick starter, Shea. Doesn't take him long to get going. Here's Prewster. Baseline.
Looks like another post up. They're going to get pick and roll action up top.
Yeah, they're looking to Brant. And if not, they got Russ Batch, 3-ball. Oof, bricked it.
Shea Ili always certain looking to push the ball. He got the rebound, head straight up.
Leon passing from the high post. They're trying to get Majuk low. No one's on Ili, and he steps back for the three, but it's no good. That is Jamie Skeen, number 44. He was an addition in the second game. He was a little late to get here. Apparently they lost his luggage. He had no boots to play against Manawatu.
Offensive foul. They got Jared Kenny on a push-off. Great D from Shea Ili there. Yep. Not sure I agree with that call though, mate.
They rewarded him for the footwork, getting in the spot, and then a little flop.
Referees tending to blow the whistle a little bit more this year. I thought they put the whistle away a little bit last year, but now they seem to be calling a lot more. Maybe that's something they've been told to do.
I hope not, Stu. There's a 3-ball from Leon in the corner. That is good to see.
Good early addition on the 3-ball there from Leon Henry. He definitely needs that for his confidence.
He leads the league in three-point shooting percentage. Skeen fouled on the low block by Ngatai.
So the Hawks are running a double handoff action up the top, but then instead of cutting to the hoop for a layup, they're posting up on the low block. We'll see how these seemingly undersized Saints. Never thought I'd say that. Undersized Saints, but these guys might struggle in the post a little bit against the Hawks, mate.
Yeah, Brant and Skeen together are quite big units. And I guess it's Henry and Majuk that are having to wrestle down there with that lot.
Yeah, Leon Henry's more of your prototypical three-man. Obviously can slash and shoot the three, but I'm not sure if he's that comfortable down low on the block trying to defend.
That might be where we'll see some more of Temera in this game. He's an exciting addition. Young fella, his mother's from Syracuse and father is a rugby player from New Zealand. Here goes Majuk on the block. And rejected by Brant, got a little piece of it. Kenny pushing the issue.
Another post up down low.
Skeen.
What have they got?
He's looking for cutters and he's got a little Dirk one-footer. It's no good. Ngatai lets it fly. That's no good either. Three-ball shooting hasn't been great to start this match.
A little bit heavy off the iron. Good catch and in rhythm on the three-point shot. Just a little bit heavy-handed.
Kenny finds Skeen. Can he shoot it from out there? A little bit overcooked, but nice boards from Prooster.
I think
Finds
the way...
Russ Batch, three balls, good.
Bang! I think the way basketball's evolving, mate, everybody at every position is expected to be able to shoot the three-ball now. I know it's certainly something that a lot of coaches are preaching. Instead of a pick and roll, they're doing a lot of pick and pop. So all these big guys, I think you'll find this season and over the next couple of seasons will be stepping out to shoot the three-ball.
They're also more and more being called upon to pass. You need to have big guys who can pass and hit the cutters.
Yeah, especially on a good handoff or on a pin down screen. Absolutely.
Russ Batch, that's a long way out, but he's no problems letting it fly.
Saints
Kenny.
getting killed on the offensive boards again. It's really costing them a lot of easy points off turnovers and boards. I need to figure out how to box out, mate. Schoolboy stuff.
Yeah. Majuk goes baseline. Oh,
Muscles his way to the rim.
It's a nice play. Brant could do nothing about that. The other thing I've noticed a little bit about the Saints on defensive end is Majuk is not a shot blocker. He likes to play straight up, his two hands in the air, but he is not keen on swatting things away.
Maybe it's something that KB's asking him to do a little bit less of. They haven't got a lot of, backup centers or backup power forwards. Benny Anthony, but he's not tall.
It certainly
maybe
looks like
he's been asked to conserve his foul count.
That's how it appears. But he's going hell for leather on the offensive block.
Lovely.
And he's got moves going both ways, right and left hand finishing. He is money. Brant sets a sizable screen. There's Kenny for three. Nope. Fakes it. Skeen, he just wet one before. Kenny will let this one go. He's got all day, and it's short. Ellie, they're having to gang rebound. No, it's not looking good. The offensive glass, the Hawks are licking their lips.
Long threes mean long rebounds, mate. So either you've got to contest and then figure out where the ball's going off the rim. There's a bit of a lid on the rim, though, so for both teams. But they certainly need to track that ball down. I think that's the fourth second chance that these Hawks have got already in the first quarter.
As they say, though, Stewie, rebounding is about will. Is that right? Boxing out, doing the fundamentals?
That's right,
or
mate.
sometimes is it just being outsized?
And rebounding definitely wins championships. You can't play offense unless you rebound, mate.
Majuk just got spanked on the glass there by Brant.
Looks like we got a foul down low on Leon Henry holding Jamie Skeen down. They're going to get the ball on the baseline.
This is
Leon
the
Henry
other-
pleading his case.
The other thing is it gets messy, doesn't it? You want to be able to pull down the board and ignite your break, and at the moment it's just sort of messy. They can't really claim anything with two hands, and it does wreaks havoc on your offense.
Absolutely, and that's maybe why the Saints team might be struggling a little bit, is they don't have a really big team that's able to secure the rebound, so a lot of guards getting in there and tracking down loose ball.
And Skeen just had his way with LJ Peak down there. Strength and size, a factor. Here's Majuk. He's been having a good time down there. backs in again.
Good kick out. Jordan Nato for 3 from the corner. Brick.
Man, that did not look good. Great extra pass from LJ Peak, though. Here's Prewster, probing. It's a long way out for Skeen. Short. Natai trapped. Nice pass to Henry. Here's LJ Peak.
Ooh, I thought that was going to be some showtime there. Nice little adjustment mid-air for the layup.
He put the Jets on. Brandt again on the block. Huge hands, just palms that ball. Oh, in and out with the right hook. Illy calls for the screen from Majuk, breaks through the double team and lays it in.
Splits the D on the defense. Majuk looks like he's laboring a little bit up and down the court. He might be a little bit out of shape early on, mate.
I hope not, Stu. He's been the bright spark on the offensive end for the Saints. Here's Prewster taking his time as he does, making a good option. Kenny, left side, 3-ball is wet.
Nice patience by the Hawks there, able to swing it around the top. Kenny with a wide open 3 and nails it.
Natai.
Brand unable to move his feet in time, gets called for a little blocking foul there. Jordan Nato looking to get things going to the rim. He's going to be subbed out.
Here's Bruce, who has been an excellent bit of energy that he might be 6th man of the year at this stage.
Now this is an interesting lineup. They can have Shea Ely play the 2 and have Bruce play the 1 spot, so Shea can get out on the break a little bit and cause a bit of havoc with his pace.
It makes sense, but in the first 2 games, I've felt those two have combined in an awkward kind of way, not quite got their rhythm together. There've been some stray passes, some strange rhythm stuff. That's a nice one to Peak, and he goes hard at the rim again.
Great ball movement from the Saints, going around the clock. LJ Peak taking off 2 feet and getting a nice little bucket again, mate. He's very controlled once he gets in the air.
As is Prewster. That was the sort of thing I'm talking about. The communication, it's not organic. The synergy just isn't natural.
Well, they had good eye communication, but I think Shea was expecting Bruce to make a V cut straight into the hoop, and he just wasn't there. Again, it's something that you might have to get used to and seeing guys flaring out for the 3 rather than going for the layup.
There's Oscar Foreman. Sorry, it is in the Barlow jersey. That's Oscar Foreman. He's a stalwart of the ANBL. And he just got smoked by Illy, and Illy goes hard.
Kareem Johnson, big foul, Shea Ely, and 1. Great control.
Johnson, talking of stalwarts. How long has that guy been in the league? I think he's a naturalised New Zealander
Yes,
now.
he just got his citizenship about a week ago, I believe.
Nice. Kia ora to that. I think it's a wonderful kind of byproduct of this league. We have American ballers coming out here and loving it so much that they stay and become part of the fabric.
Yeah, and a lot of them give back to the communities, you know. They start up coaching clinics and early morning runs with young high school kids, so they certainly bring an element of fundamentals and veteran leadership that help grow the game in New Zealand, mate, which is nothing but positivity.
Mitch Newton is in the game for the Hawks. He's been impressive. He's got some skills. Got a 3-ball and a nice drive on him. And the dreadlocks there, lining up on the key. And PJ Anthony's checked in for the Saints. He's always good to watch. Bit of a beast. He had no trouble backing Foreman down there. Foreman gave little to no resistance. The defense chant going up in the stadium.
Dion getting to the hoop, kick out.
Oh, they've turned it over. Is that over and back?
It's going to be over and back. Way to force a turnover. See, that was due to the Saints' good 2nd and 3rd rotations on defense. If they can keep that kind of energy up, they'll get turnovers like that all night, and that's where they can stay in this ballgame.
Here's Peak working out top on Newton. Majuk gives him the screen. Oh, nice hands there from Butler. Comes up with the steal.
Costly turnover from LJ Peak. You can't give it away once you get a freebie.
Preston, lovely. Well played by Ellie. And BJ putting his body on the line. Everybody is. Majak's down there. Foreman's down there. Jump ball.
We've got a scrum feed. It's going to go back to the Saints. See, that's what you want to see. Your big boys getting on the floor, trying to look after that ball, but that's 3 turnovers in a row.
Giving the Mop boys a hell of a time, though. A few square meters to cover there. We've got Porzingis on the Mop tonight, which is a great privilege. Bruce under duress, full court press. Majuk on the block.
They got Kareem on a reach in. Not sure how they got him there. I thought he played some pretty straight up D, especially how Majuk is using his body to clear out a bit of space. I thought Kareem would probably get a little bit more respect from that.
There's a little ticky-tack foul. Yeah, he deserves better. It's a man's game down there on the block. Anything goes, no blood, no foul for me.
Certainly helps to put your McDavid on and put in a mouth guard, mate, down there, I assure you.
A loaded side there. Ngatai, one dribble jumper, no good. BJ, strip, but that should stay with the Saints, and it does.
BJ Anthony crashing the boards. It's exactly what they're asking him to do this year. Come in for his 2-3 minutes and just be a bit of a pest. Couple of subs coming in. Jared Kenny coming in for Dion Brewster. Gets a well-earned break.
Ngatai gets Illy coming off the screen, probing. The little runner is no good, but he'll go to the line where he's been very effective this year.
Shea Illy looking to split the double team on a lot of these pick and rolls, and he's finding a lot of success getting one dribble into the paint and pulling up that little floater. Second time to the line for Shea.
He wets the first, gives him 7 points, 2 boards and an assist. Jamie Skeen leads all scorers for the Hawks with 9. Converts that as well. Make it 23-19 to the home side.
Looks like the Hawks are going to go quick, go for a 2-for-1 and try to close out the first quarter with the last possession.
I should hope so, Stu, at this level. There's Foreman. He likes to shoot from the top. Oh, battling in there. 3 Hawks crashing the boards, and Majuk is the only line of defense against it.
Smart play from the Hawks. They should get the final position here, but they've got a full court press on. Let's see how the Saints break it. They just got Bruce going to go one-on-one easy.
He's got a nice handle. Solid. Everybody's curling. Bruce. Lovely ball to Illy. And the jumper goes down. Beautiful patience. Kenny's fouled. Not in the penalty, though.
Smart foul from Shea, although, you know, I don't think that's the foul they want him to give up. Kenny would have had to launch maybe a 3 with less than 2 seconds on the clock. I mean, I know you want to slow it down a little bit, but Shea can't afford to clock up too many fouls in the first half.
What's Zico got in the way of out-of-bounds plays? Newton One dribble jumper. Oh, he got a good look, but he sent it over the top, and the Saints will be happy with their first quarter, up 6 against the Bay Hawks here at TSB Arena in a encounter between two of the best teams, certainly favourites at this stage to make the finals. But it's early days.
Please welcome to the floor the Hutt Valley High School Strikers Cheer Squad.
Stewie, seen any good sneakers out there this evening? LJ Peak's always offering something nice in the way of kicks.
LJ Peak is rocking the multicolour LeBron 15s, mate. The very same shoes that I play mixed social C grade on a Tuesday night. I use those shoes to try and slap the backboard on a layup. They're very, very comfortable and very nice looking.
There's a very high likelihood that he's been down at ASB Arena and seen that. And put it in his diary to turn up at the Nike store the next day and get the goods.
Yeah. Come see me. I can take care of all your sneaker needs.
So what was the difference, you reckon, there in that first quarter?
I don't know if there was, I mean, pretty rough first quarter from both teams. A lot of bad turnovers. Teams didn't capitalise off those turnovers. Yeah, hopefully they get a bit of a spray from their coaches and they knuckle down. Defense, I think, was a bit of a factor in that, but certainly for me, it was a lack of offense.
Yeah, I think that Dion Brewster will feature more in this game than we saw in that first stanza.
Well, you can certainly rely on this Bay Hawks team to be ultra analytical. Zico Coronel known around the basketball circles to certainly break teams down and know weaknesses to a fault. So
if he knows anybody's game plan, it's probably Coach Kevin Braswell's, who's been his shadow for a long time.
Absolutely, but great tutelage, and yeah, he's certainly taken that knowledge that he learned off the likes of Piero Cameron and Shane Heal as well, and looking to extend this 3-0 to 4-0, and we're going to have a good game on our hands, I think, come third, fourth quarter, mate.
Yeah, and with certainly the top half of the competition got some very evenly matched teams, so more important than ever to take care of home court.
Yes, and the Saints traditionally defend their home court very, very well. Hasn't been the case, obviously, this year with the first loss to the Southland Sharks, but see how they knuckle down in the second quarter here, mate.
The Sharks virtually played the perfect road game, though, in that first encounter, and their point guard, Jared Weeks, was very impressive.
Yeah, Weeksy came to play in the fourth quarter. Again, another bad turnover off a forced turnover for the Hawks. That's a travel, I thought.
It definitely shuffled his feet before he made his move into the lane.
Brandt trying to get a post up. Kenny dribbles into him. Doesn't
Nothing
find any
on
lock.
step
Pull up.
back. Yeah, not pretty. Both ends just looking a little bit laboured. BJ, 3 ball, short.
Saints struggling to find their offensive sets, I guess. A lot of handoffs and a lot of pick and rolls, but not really going anywhere with the ball. They seem a little bit out of sync here.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it's the fault of the defense. No one's really putting in extra effort. BJ gets worked down low by Skeen and pretty much no trouble.
Lovely little drop step and lefty hook. No dramas at all down low for Skeets. Skeen daring BJ to shoot the ball again after that first one fell really short. Majuk back in the post.
Oh, that's lovely. The set shot did not leave the ground, but it looked like it was going in the whole way.
Keep giving him the ball until he doesn't know what to do with it. Play inside out. That's how the Saints can extend this lead.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have his work on the block open up some shooters, but I haven't seen any of that action yet. Brewster gets his own board. Lovely little left hand off the spin. And they're pressing off made baskets. Shea Ely, one of the best guards in the league, usually has no trouble. He's gone down, no whistle. Bruce. Oh, short, mate. He did not have his wheat bix. Brandt, low block. Right hook. Should have got that, too easy. A strange little matchup here, Stu. The intensity is quite low.
Yeah, everyone seems a little bit lethargic. If you'll notice, a lot of these long balls are going front iron, which means they're not getting a lot of legs under their jump shot. Maybe these guys are a little bit tired.
Well, they haven't played since last weekend.
Maybe Coach Braswell's been working a little bit too hard at practice, mate.
Yeah, that can be a factor. Braz does run a mean practice. Practice like you play, I believe. It's his philosophy.
Well, we were always kind of taught to, you know, the game should be easy. Break each other down during practice, build each other up before you play, and the game should come quite easy.
Beautiful pass out of the block from Majuk. That's what we need. That's the inside-out game you were talking to. And Shea Ely converts in the corner.
Well, Majuk demands a double team down low with the work he was putting in the first quarter. So if these Saints can flare out to the corners, get some quick kicks, they'll find three balls all night long, mate.
Kenny, three ball going the other way. Maybe we'll get some life here.
So we got a whistle.
Not if the ref whistles
Now,
up.
that is the one thing I can say about those LeBrons. Whilst they are unbelievably comfortable playing, the lacing system tends to give way on you, mate. And I'm not the most ambidextrous fellow in the world. It takes me a long time to do those laces up. It's a sub out, unfortunately.
Well, it's nothing a quick email to LeBron can't fix, I'm sure.
Oh, I've got him on speed dial on the mobile.
He's going to be pretty busy over the next couple of weeks. Here's Bruce backing up. Temida into the game. Like this kid. Keep an eye on him. Sets beautiful screens, rolls, crashes glass.
Yeah, Temida caught up with Coach Braz midweek and had a yarn to him about how they find this Temida kid. Was brought up in Syracuse in the States, went to school in Texas. Like you said earlier, mother married a rugby player,
Yeah,
and here he is.
She was a
Great
pro
find.
baller, worked her way around the world, and yeah, hooked up with a footy head, and that is the product. That beast of a young man on the awaiting the free throw there. Bruce, great free throw shooter. You can count on that going down. And the Saints haven't been able to build upon the 6-point margin they had at the end of the first quarter. I think they want to go into the half with twice that much, ideally. Skeen will have something to say about that. Backing Leon down.
So they got Leon on a holding Skeen's offhand down. Again, Leon just looking a little bit uncomfortable down there on the low block when Skeen's posting him up.
Kenny having trouble to get it in.
Another foul call, I think another weak foul call. The ball's going to go back to the Hawks on the out of bounds. There's really no need to call that. It's just slowing the game down. That's really not what these fans paid to come out and see.
Replacing him, Shea Ely.
Yeah, referees, I believe, do have a responsibility to think about the rhythm of a game. And I guess that's why they talk about calling consistently. That Rusbatch let that fly. Here's LJP, penetrating.
Great
Illy
kick
from
out.
the spot he hit before. Oh, nearly wedgied it. Kenny the other way. Penetrating, nice ball to Bartlett. Baseline with the reverse.
There we
Oh, the
go.
leak out As mentioned earlier, Sean Bruce. You can't stand around admiring your last shot because he will punish you at the other end. Brandt, jab step. Back and in, left hook. Good.
Both teams starting to work to their strengths here. The Hawks getting back down a low block and the Saints trying to run and gun. Shea Ili directing traffic up top.
Looks like they're trying to open up some seams. Beautiful ball to Temera. Yeah, they're sort of running that motion around the top, try and open up the driving lane, Stewie, is it, for Bruce and LJ Peake to penetrate?
Yeah, a lot of handoffs at the top of the key, and then it looks like some pick and roll action where they just look to penetrate and then dish off the rotation. Pretty smart when Shea Ili and Bruce are very capable passers.
Yeah, they got some good finishes out there. Temera, Henry, and Peake can finish above the rim, no doubt. Rusbatch, 3-ball, wide. Ili on the break. There's Leon, leaking out. Got it. Made hard work of it, wanted the foul. .348 to play in this first half. Skeen looked like he hooked him. Are they going to call that on Leon, though? He's got more to be angry about. Does Leon Henry. He's just getting worked on the block. And that will bring Majuk back.
Subject of the Saints, Majuk versus Leon Henry.
I think Henry might have 3 fouls based on that maneuver. There's Rusbatch out top. There, Bartlett. That boy can shoot. Not today, though. Oh, Rusbatch, just pure grit and effort. Works his way in there, gets himself an offensive board. Bruce pushing the issue. That's what he does. He's quick, forces the ref to make a call. From Victoria, Australia. Stu, the game, the New Zealand League at least, has seen a lot more Australians come into it, as opposed to the traditional 2-import model that was always Americans. I think it's been good to see.
Absolutely. We definitely want to see a bit more competitiveness from across the Tasman, and having some of those guys come over in their experience New Zealand ball and maybe bring that experience back to Australia, or vice versa, have some of our guys go over there and then come back. It's only going to grow the sport across both countries. Yeah.
Yeah, good to get Australian interest.
I can't see anything bad with that.
The way they play the game is probably a little bit more akin to the way we play as well. And the Australian League now starting to gain a lot of international attention for producing players of NBA caliber.
Yes, and Steve Adams' success has certainly opened up the gates to scouts coming into New Zealand and trying to find the next big man or maybe flashy guard, but basketball's starting to grow at a pretty great rate, mate, and it's great to see.
Yeah, Steve's done huge things for the game in New Zealand, and we're actually at that time of year when we start to see the giant camoed figure start turning up in spots around Wellington.
Yes, I had a run around with him and Andre Roberson a couple of years ago. We did some post training, and gee willikers, mate, I couldn't walk for a couple of days after that, I tell you.
3-on-1 coming the other way here. Oh.
Yeah, Shea Ili going in for the block. He was well in the cylinder, and I don't think he quite got there. Great call from the referee, and they're going to have Skeen going to go to the line for 2. Shea Ili really putting his body on the line, trying to get in front of that freight train.
Good result for the Saints, really. 3-on-1, you'd expect a bucket, so to force him to the line, make him earn them. Skeen got a nice jump shot on him though, so I expect him to be proficient from the charity stripe. Skeen has 11 in this game and 5 boards. The Hawks are 2 of 2 from the free throw line tonight. Skeen keeps that 100% streak alive. Both teams shooting abysmally from the perimeter. 3-point percentage, 26% for the Hawks, 22% for the Saints. Not good. Majuk looking to set up the play from that high block. LJ Peak 3-ball on the way, no good. Majuk has tapped that out. The Hawks will go the other way with it. One and a half to play. Saints up 7. Not a high scoring encounter, but I think that's the way the Hawks like it. But they will not be stoked with 37 points in the half, and that is a sign of the times for Dion Brewster. Timida the other way, 2-hand jam is good. Leaking out. This is not the Hawks team that I've been watching on the live stream over the last couple of weeks. Maybe Dion a little bit out of sync playing in his hometown. Probably got a few of the whānau in the crowd. He's a much better baller than that. Brant has been super impressive. Excellent hands, excellent footwork, which is what you want from a guy that size. Saints shooting 60% from the field. The Hawks 42%. That's essentially been the difference. The Hawks have actually taken 36 shots in the game. The Saints only 31, so they shot a lot more, but not as accurately, and it shows on the scoreboard. The rebounding matchup is fairly even. 18-17 in favor of the Hawks. Turnovers 4-3. Oh, that looked like it was in the cylinder. It didn't go down even on the tip. So no bucket. Here's Bruce. They'll definitely want to go 2 for 1 here. He's into the decision-making area, looking for Illy cutting baseline, but it's disrupted. Timeout. Looks like Braswell wants to draw something up to take advantage of this and go into the shed with a decent lead. Shea Illy leading all scorers with 13. Jamie Skeen has 12 for the Hawks. Sean Bruce, 8 for the Saints. That's what I was saying earlier about being a very handy player to have off the bench. He gets buckets. Majuk with 8, all earned on that low block. Bevy of moves, finishing with both hands. Angus Brandt's been good on the low post at the other end. He has 6 points, 2 rebounds, a couple of assists. For the Saints, an excellent first half, and they've been getting off to slow starts, so that's certainly a victory. LJ Peak has the best field goal percentage of anyone in the league, 88%. That's because he gets to the rim a great deal of the time. Dion Brewster as well, 73% on the season. Here's Peak in the corner. He might have stepped on the sideline. He did. So fat lot of good drawing up a play was, and you can't stay inside the court, but he had a good look. Maybe that's a moral victory. What will the Hawks do here? Look to get a shot up. 2 for 1. Brewster coming along the baseline, couldn't get free. There's Kenny. Looks like they'll use the whole clock. Kenny, 3 ball. And fouled. 4-point play. That will break Kevin Braswell's spirit after screwing up the play out of the timeout and then getting 4 points against you the other way. Demoralising stuff. Good to see 2 of the 3 referees out there tonight, females. Some of the best refs in the game I've experienced definitely had that female sensibility. What is going on here, though? Looked like it was someone had been teed up there for a minute, but that's not the case. I think it might have only been judged a 2. He could have had the foot on the line. Well, Brandt's shooting the free throw, so the foul was not on the shot by Kenny, but on the interior. So the basket counted, from what I can gather. Little sub made for the Hawks, must be for defense. Harris comes in. Another timeout for Coach Kevin Braswell, and he is on the referee there. Giving him what for. He's going to need to concentrate on drawing up a play here to make the most of these 22 seconds we have left so that that lead isn't entirely eviscerated. Good little moment to give shout outs to the sponsors. Without sponsors, no hoops can happen. Sal's Authentic Pizzeria, all over the country. Well, mainly in Auckland, one in Hamilton, Wellington and Christchurch too, though, I believe. And top-notch pizza. Beautiful sauce. Thin crust. Authentic New York style. You gotta love it. And the TAB, special deals going for new customers. You sign up to the TAB and there's a little promo code for NBL fans. NBL 30, I believe, gives you $30 on top of your $10 deposit. Then you have 40 to play with. You can drop a little bet on games such as this. And some of that money, I believe, goes to the New Zealand Basketball League as proud sponsors. The TAB are. Here we go, 20 to play. Let's see the Saints execute something special here. Maybe Ely will just go one-on-one. Brewster knows his game well. Couple of screens here, the double team out top. Ely will just take it to the rack and get fouled and shoot a couple. He's very hard to stop when he gets a head of steam. He's got a low center of gravity, excellent handles. Ely's having a great season, leading the league in points per game. Second in assist, 4th in steals, 2.5 thefts per matchup. But yeah, he's having to do a lot of work for the Saints, making plays, carrying the bulk of the load on offense. And that is the end of the first half, with the Saints leading 47-43 over the Bay Hawks. They will be stoked with that. At only 1-1 on the season and going up against the top of the table Taylor Bay Hawks. And it's been a fairly messy encounter, a lot of referee action, and that's made the rhythm very herky-jerky. But hopefully in the second half, these two top teams will go at it and show us some quality basketball in the Sal's NBL. To get a take on the game from a player perspective, we have
Thank you,
Stu.
Glenn. And I've got Majuk down here. Majuk, you were going pretty well in the first quarter. Looked like the fellas didn't go too much in the post. What do you need to do in the third quarter to get going again, mate?
We just need to slow down on offense, try and slow the ball down, try to get the ball inside, because when we get it inside, we'll make it tougher for them to get out on transition, so we got to slow down, get the ball inside, and move the ball a little bit more.
You've certainly got a pretty big advantage down there with your size and your length. Do you feel like you've got a pretty big advantage throughout the whole season this year?
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like with my size and my being like athletic than everybody else, I really got a big advantage, so I got to make sure I demand the ball inside a lot.
Awesome, man. And I just want to say congratulations on the contract with the Breakers. You're going to do wonders for that team, and welcome to New Zealand, man. Thank you.
Oh yeah, thanks a lot.
Dion Prusa, Wellington boy, how's it feel to be back, bro?
It's good. It's always a good game here, good atmosphere. One of the top team is the top team, reigning champs, so always good to play here.
Awesome. How are you developing under Zico? I know he's been your assistant coach a few years with the Saints when you were here. How are you going with him at the head coaching job?
You know, we're all learning. It's a new role for Zico. We got a new look team, a lot of youth, a lot of experience, so everyone's trying to learn and just do the best they can.
Awesome, man. What do you think you guys need to do in the second half to try and get this lead back?
Well, we got to rebound. Wellington's getting a lot of O boards on us, and they're getting out in transition, which is their strength. So if we can limit that and give ourselves a chance and make some baskets, then hopefully we can come away with the win.
Awesome, bro. Well, good luck for the second half, man. Good to see you again.
He'll be happy with his performance thus far. Hopefully he can come out in the second half and get his game on. So the Saints up 47-43 at TSB Arena here in Wellington. They're shooting 61% from the field, which is not a good testament to the Hawks defense. But both teams shooting poorly from the three-point line, 20% and 25% for the Hawks. They'll want to lift that. The rhythm's been odd, but hopefully they can get that together, and we'll see some high-quality basketball here in the second half. We'll take a break. See you back here in Wellington for Hoops Action Sal's NBL. Front rim from Orlando Coleman, and on the breakout, Ngatai with the left hand hammer. Oh, he dives on the floor for that one. He's committed to this squad already. Is Ely tossing it up? Oh, alley-oop!
Authentic New York pizza.
Tukaha.
It means stand strong.
To the great challenges we face.
To stand strong with our brothers and sisters.
With our families and our communities.
With our supporters.
With those who lift us up to take on the world.
It's the name of our haka.
Tāringa whakarongo ki Aomori.
Stand strong.
Stand with us.
Tukaha, New Zealand.
Welcome back to the TSB Arena in Wellington, where the hometown Cygnet Saints are leading the Taylor Bay Hawks 47-43. Pretty good encounter, evenly matched, though a little bit out of rhythm. Stu, what do you expect to see in the second half?
I expect to see the Hawks maybe knuckle down on defense a little bit more, and hopefully these Saints start firing offensively. Majuk expressed a bit of concern that he didn't get too many touches in the second quarter after he got off to such a hot start. So I think it's going to be a pretty good battle down low, and once these threes start firing, we'll have a hell of a second half. So hopefully these scores show up a little bit.
Yeah.
These fans get a little bit more for their ticket price.
Indeed. I'd like to see Dion Brewster go off. I'm surprised that he's had a fairly quiet game. He's got 6 on 50% shooting, not too bad. He's only taken 6 shots, and I think he needs to take more as the leading scorer for this team. Do you think playing in front of your home crowd is sort of can be intimidating sometimes, Stu?
I think so, mate. You can either use it to your advantage, and you know,
show out,
get that kind of adrenaline from playing in front of your family and your friends, or it can be a little bit scary as well. Wanting to perform in front of your family and friends can also make you a little bit timid sometimes. But
And he's a nice guy, Dion Brewster. And sometimes he needs to go into sort of beast mode for me.
Yeah, and we've seen in past performances, he's had a couple of 40-point games and a 50-point game in the past where he's just turned on a bit of that aggressive mode. And yeah, you'd like to see a lot more from him, but again, you just don't know if that's his role on this team. I mean, I know he's leading scorer, but he hasn't looked to be that aggressive against his team as the Hawks have been trying to pump it down low.
And they were absolutely owning the Saints down low in the first quarter, the Bay Hawks. They looked like they could get anything they wanted and get second and third chance opportunities. And then that didn't seem to be the case in the second quarter. Do you think it was a change of defensive scheme or change of matchups by Braswell? I don't know what happened.
Yeah, maybe a change of matchups. Like I said earlier, certainly Majuk didn't get too many offensive touches. And then the Saints looked to rebound a little bit more aggressively and get out and run. So maybe just a bit more of a change in plan, something that wasn't working in the first quarter.
Yeah, and from my seriously challenged memory, I don't feel like the Bay Hawks got virtually anything on the fast break.
No. And again, that might be part of the plan. Slow it down. Don't let these Saints fast break, and in turn they can get down low and bang it down low with their big guys. But they're certainly crashing the boards. So it suggests to me that they want to stop the clock a little bit, get to the foul line, and slow the Saints down as well.
When you go into the shed at halftime, Stewie, does the game plan change that much, or is it more a refinement of the original game plan?
It's more of a refinement. You want to trust the process, and you've scouted these other teams very well, and everyone knows their job and their roles. You're not always going to get off to a great start, and you're going to have things thrown at you might not expect, because scouting goes both ways. So I think you just make adjustments, have a look at key matchups, and trust the work that you put in all week at practice.
Excuse my ignorance, but are you having oranges at halftime in the shed? Or you got some kind of...
Look, oranges, I like an orange, but I think the go-to now is a little bit of chalky milk and some Skittles.
Interesting combo.
Yeah.
Well, we're not far away from second half action. I've got both my fingers crossed for a little bit more of a free-flowing game.
I certainly see the game opening up a little bit more fast break stuff. Very good potential this game goes to overtime.
Do you think the refs go into the shed and have a bit of a word about their strategy?
Absolutely. I know they certainly have meetings prior to the games, and the Refereeing Association do tell them how they're going to call certain things throughout the year and try to keep some consistency. But they'll certainly have their eye on certain matchups and little things that they've noticed that they'll tell everyone else to keep an eye on and make sure, most of all, keep players safe, but keep it entertaining as well.
Well, we'll certainly see soon as to what adjustments the referees have made, what adjustments the Saints have made, and the Bay Hawks as well in these first couple of minutes with how things play out. The Cigna Saints have the rock up 4. Majuk not being guarded at all out on the high post. So he gets down on the low block. Nice spin move, little fade. It's well short, air ball.
Looks like he just lost that on the way up and had to shoot it from his fingertips.
$1 million move, $5 finish. Here's Rusbatch. He could be more aggressive too, I think, in this. He's a big contributor for them. It hasn't done much tonight. But Brandt has done a hell of a lot, and man, he has a nice toolkit.
LJ Peak a pretty quiet first half. Let's look to see him be a bit more aggressive, going straight to the hoop.
Working with Majuk. I think that the Hawks would be happy for Majuk to take knuckle jump shots all night long.
Good to see this from the Saints. We didn't see it in the first game against the Sharks. They didn't get into their huddles during breaks. There wasn't a lot of communication. It's good to see that. You can certainly get a lot of talking done in those little breaks there, mate.
And can anyone take control of those Corderos in there, or is it up to the captain?
No, it's a collective thing. I think I've seen players come up off the bench and get huddles going right next to the sideline, and I mean every player's not going to see every little part of the game. So I like to have the point guard genuinely say a lot of piece, because he's got his eye on multifaceted parts of the game. So usually I think you'll find Shayeli is the one that's getting those huddles together, but you certainly see now Kevin Braswell calling the guys over during the stoppage, and Jared Kenny getting the guys through with the Hawks. So it's something a lot of coaches do preach. High communication is key in basketball, and these little huddles certainly help that.
Yeah, you might as well take that opportunity to connect and adjust. A little break in the game here. I'm not sure what it is. Perhaps a technical problem.
Not quite sure what the issue was. Looks like it's going to be the Taylor Hawks with the ball from the backcourt sideline. Saints looking to show a little bit of a full court press. Still something going on. I think it's a scoreboard issue, mate. Yeah, they've had to reset all the clock.
Stewie, just leading on from the Oranges conversation, how much is nutrition something that you concentrate on in this league? I know that in the NBA, they even go to the extent of measuring body fat. They have personal chefs. I know this league certainly isn't at that level, but are they watching what they eat?
Absolutely. Some guys don't. I mean, you can tell by some of the bodies out there that some guys are pretty lenient on what goes in their body. But, I mean, 6 months is a long time. And you think about your training 4 or 5 times a week, plus games in the weekend, you're lifting weights. There's certainly a lot of emphasis on what goes into your body and at what time as well. These guys are peak athletes, mate. You want to perform at a peak level, so you've got to be pretty onto with your nutrition.
Particularly on game day, I expect.
Yeah, a lot of these guys will have routines they go through as well. I used to love a butter chicken and a garlic naan before I played down in Otago, mate, but that probably didn't serve me too well later on.
Just superstition.
Just a superstition, unfortunately.
Garlic naan.
It's also a good tool to, you know, when you're talking a bit of trash down in the paint.
Give them an extra bit of stank with it.
A little bit of extra. A little bit of extra to go along.
Players trying to keep warm here. This break and play. Tough to interpret what's going on down there at the scorer's bench. They're looking to reset their abacus.
Just while we've got a wee break and play, what's your thoughts on these conference finals in the NBA?
Pretty darn excited, Stu, to be honest. I guess it was what everybody predicted. Celtics, Cavs, Rockets, Warriors.
Yeah.
But from here on out, I don't know if you can predict what's going to happen. Brad Stevens is an absolute mastermind. LeBron James is playing out of his mind. The Rockets were built to beat the Warriors, but the Warriors are still ridiculously put together.
Absolutely. We've got Brand on a face-up.
Nice D by Majuk. He does just hold his ground, doesn't he, and keeps his hands up.
Majuk relies on his length and his height and those long arms, so he doesn't really need to jump. Whether that's a help or a hindrance, it certainly helps him keep out of foul trouble, but I feel like he could contest shots maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. Is it still considered good to use most of your fouls, Stewie, if you can, strategically?
I think strategically, absolutely. But he's obviously a big part of their cog. He does a lot of high handoffs up top, and certainly they like to go to him in the post. So it's probably not worth him racking up high amounts of foul counts in order to try contest. He needs to be on the floor.
True. It's not great when your big man finishes the game with only 1 foul on the sheet.
Nah, because, I mean, fouls are a positive thing too. If you can finish the game 3-4 fouls, it shows aggression on the defense, you know. And you've got 5 fouls to use. You might as well use a couple of them up just to send maybe a little message to these Hawks. Don't let them come down the lane, or certainly if you do come down the lane, you're going to get contested.
Here's Skeen on the knuckle, working with Rusbatch. Rusbatch, lovely pick and roll, takes some contact, finishes nicely. It felt like they were aware of that in the first quarter, that Majuk wasn't going to block shots, and they just drive into his chest. LJ Peak, that was halfway down.
I mean, LJ Peak needs to get going a little bit offensively. I think he's only got 4 points.
Yeah, 2 on top of that, 6 2 boards and 2 assists, but yeah, it's not enough for a high investment player. Oh man, there's a little bit of a lid on both buckets at the moment. A lot of jogging, no fast breaking. Illy penetrating. Ngatai 3 ball is short.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. A lot of labouring up and down the court. Fast breaks are almost a non-factor, and a lot of these jump shots are front iron. That suggests a bit of tired legs, mate.
Strange for a Friday night in the city. There's Ngatai, unchallenged. And Kenny just gets a free lane to the basket off of a simple screen.
Had a good opportunity to catch up with Jacob Walsh. Was a member of the 2014 Saints team, the national championship team with Shane Heal. He's rejoined the squad this year. And we had a pretty good catch-up around Jordan Ngatai and just how aggressive he's been playing this year and how far his game's come in the last 2 years, and with the Breakers showing a lot more confidence. Certainly a player to watch out for this whole season and in the future.
Indeed. Love what he's got to offer, but yeah, it just seems an attitudinal thing as to whether he realizes his potential or not, whether he's got the green light. Brewster had the green light on the other end there. Where to 3. Here's LJ Peak working his way in. Euro stepping.
Nice little penetration off a high pick and roll. He was able to Euro step and get that little lefty scoop. Got the harm in the hoop. He'll go to the line for one more. Exactly what he needs to get going, I think, in this third quarter. Get going to the rim, be a bit more aggressive. Maybe open up his jump shot a bit more. He's a bit of a nightmare offensively.
Haven't seen Majuk get to the line tonight. That's again not another good sign in terms of his willingness to bang bodies. Well, he's put a couple of post moves on, but
yeah, a lot of his offensive moves are going away from the hoop. I know he does drop the shoulder a little bit, but then he goes back to a little jump hook. He's gone to that little fadeaway a couple of times. So whilst he's certainly a back to the basket kind of a guy, his finishing move is more subtle and not as aggressive.
Harris driving, no good. Ngatai igniting the break. Illy's out in front. Too quick.
Oh, hard foul. Dion Brewster contesting up top. Shayelu took a big fall.
He's hit the stanchion.
He's a little bit shaken up down there, holding the wrist. Big bucket. Saints looking to fast break a little bit more. Shayelu still unable to get up off the floor.
He's used his quickness there. Thought he might toss it up for LJ Peak, who is trailing and licking his lips. He's thrown down some nice alleys this season, LJ Peak.
Shayeli's struggling with that right wrist. So I believe the rule is if you go out because of an injury, you can no longer enter the game. So they'll have to get a strategic sub, perhaps, if they want their trainer to come have a look at him.
I think he's going to be okay. You'll be able to tell from this. He's one of the top free throw shooters in the league. He seems to be okay.
Nothing but the bottom, mate. Yeah, he's a tough cookie. Double
pressure
team,
there, looking to
hard
trap him.
press in the front court.
It's Harris. Took some time off the clock. We've got 10 left to shoot. Here's Brandt.
Oh,
my goodness. Filthy.
Get out the way.
Filthy from the big man.
Little step and just rose up above 3 defenders. Post a jab.
Ooh, that wingspan. My goodness. I think he hit the ground still holding the rim.
Oh, look. I think you'll find, mate, that wrist is just fine.
Yeah. Let's get it on. Let's get this game going. I think both teams want to play at pace. We certainly want to see that. There's Brandt.
Lovely
Beautiful.
rolling hook.
Old
front
school.
Here's
Pete. Get up, son.
Here we go. Here we go. Both teams pushing the tempo, getting quick leak-outs and layups. This is what we came to see here, Glenn.
You're getting a little bit of excitement happening. There's Skeen, 3-ball, no good. Here's Illy going the other way. The defense is back though, nice transition D. Secondary action, Illy, no good. Tough lay-in to make. Brewster pushes it right back at them. Tries to use glass. Nato moved his feet beautifully there to stay in front of him, didn't he? He's a good defender. A little push off, trying to get the charge. Late whistle? No. Foul on Henry coming in with the help, was it?
Yeah, well, they certainly didn't call a blocking foul on Illy, and then Kenny made a lovely spin move, put up a little floater, got the bucket to go down, and then there was a foul after that. Looks like it's on Jordan Natai. Questionable.
Illy hits the bench looking brutalized.
Yeah, he's clutching that right wrist on the bench there. Hopefully that trainer can have a look at it.
The adrenaline stops pumping when you hit the pine, doesn't it, Stewie? And injuries start to reveal themselves.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation, mate. As a player, you want to stay in, but obviously you're an investment for the team, so they want to get you looked at. But you're dead right. Once you start cooling down, the adrenaline wears off. That's when you feel the aches and pains and the niggles.
Maybe it means we see LJ Peak take over, as he tried to do there. Oh, man, and Brandt's been hit in the balls. He's struggling to get up to the offensive end. Skeen, double pump, easy draw of the foul.
Leon Henry once again struggling down low. That's going to be his 4th foul?
He's just not used to defending down there, is he? He's
No.
normally defending the wings.
No, and I think maybe that's one of the scouting reports that Zico Coronel, the coach of the Taylor Hawks, has potentially seen, that Leon Henry's just not that comfortable defending down low.
It means more minutes for BJ Anthony. Skeen is good from the free throw line. Skeen 14 in the game now, 6 rebounds and a dime. LJ being aggressive. Oh, looking to connect with Majuk. His hands are good, maybe not that good.
Oh, it's good to see LJ Peak being a little bit more aggressive, but he finds himself, that's twice in a row now, he's gotten up in the air with nowhere to really go and turn the ball over. He just needs to decide to put his head down and go with the intent to score or not leave his feet.
Yeah. Skeen, 3-ball, good.
Money, that has put the Hawks up by 3.
Skeen benefiting from time at the free throw line there. He's got a stroke.
Natai directing traffic, finds Majuk inside.
Oh, Majuk.
Another costly turnover. Yes, we're going to go back to the Hawks.
This, without Shea Illy on the floor, things have gone a little bit shaky.
Well, Bruce is more than capable of bringing the ball up. It's the half-court sets that are hurting these Saints, especially on a half set where they're not quite sure whether it's a fast break or they're not quite sure to get into a half-court set. That's where they're getting a bit of trouble.
Just gets messy, doesn't it?
Skeen, another 3-ball on the way. Nothing
good.
but the
He
bottom.
Is feeling it.
And these Saints need a timeout to quench this fire. Let's see what they can come up with in this huddle. 2:24 to go in the third. Taylor Hawks up 65-59. We've got a game on our hands here, Glenn.
I'm pretty happy about that. And this is the Bay Hawks that we've been watching over the last couple of weeks, who are 3-0 at the top of the table, moving the ball, getting defensive stops, in rhythm.
And they certainly have the personnel to brutally put the foot on the throat, as they say, and potentially try and extend this lead. They've certainly got a good rhythm going. They've found their offensive niche. It's up to these Saints to knuckle down defensively.
Does your gut tell you that Shea will be back tonight?
Absolutely, absolutely. He's not going to let a little rest against such an important game for them tomorrow. He's got a whole week off before their next game. Plenty of time to rest, but I don't think these Saints want to leave this building with another loss under their belts, mate, especially at home, you know.
Definitely not. That would not be the start to the season they were hoping for. But the Hawks would love to spoil their little home party. The Sharks certainly enjoyed it 2 weeks ago here.
Yeah, and it's become an expectation, I think, not only from this team, but from these fans, that the Saints do win at home. And winning on the road is certainly what wins you seasons, but you have to protect your home court.
Prior to that Sharks loss, they were unbeaten since May 2016. But this is quite a different squad. Skeen, Bartlett, tiptoeing down on the baseline.
Bartlett should look at going a little bit quicker. He's got a slower defender on him, goes to the left hand, unable to convert.
They look like they've got their swagger about them, the Hawks. Ngatai's hot stepping into the lane. Not pretty, and the fans here in Wellington are not happy. Kenny. No good. Bruce pulls down the board and pushes it the other way. Working with BJ. Taking his time. Lovely fundamentals.
Skeen not looking to play any kind of D down there. That was a fairly easy pick and roll that BJ's able to get back to the left hand and convert.
A soft serve, if ever I saw one. Here's Skeen, who's been on fire.
Bang! Three in a row for Skeen. That's another triple on the way. BJ's going to have to get out there and start guarding that one.
That boy can shoot. Need to see Bruce get some action going. Funny little pass inside. Majuk, though, just hammers it home.
Majuk off a broken play, able to pick up the scraps with a lovely little 180 turn in midair and throw it down.
He's been the bright spark for the Saints in this game. Kenny no good, front iron. Ilya's back and pushing it down the lane and gets the roll. Beautiful stuff.
Gets back to his right hand. Great body control midair with a right hand scoop shot. Rolls it in off the front iron. Kenny's got to go quick. He's going to cross up middle of the lane. Gets the bucket on the buzzer.
Fundamental. Sends the Hawks into the fourth quarter with a 5-point lead. Not the sort of stuff that Braswell wanted to see there in the third quarter. Still, 12 minutes to go. And anything can happen. These are two of the best teams, two of the best coaches, and certainly one of the best cheer squads in the league. Let's see if they can hype up this crowd and make them a factor in this game.
Certainly this TSB Arena has been a bit of a Alcatraz.
Stunned at the moment, though. Not used to seeing losses in this building, and it certainly makes the crowd very tight-lipped. Jamie Skeen, 25 in the ball game. He's been the difference.
Absolutely, they've got to find a way to stop his three-point shooting, but then he's pretty dominant down low as well, so it's really pick your poison at the moment. Look, he's hit 3 threes in a row with 0 contests, so you kind of want to run him off the three-point line. I haven't seen how strong his one-dribble pull-up is yet, so maybe that's what they need to go to, get him out of rhythm and have someone else pick up the scoring load.
And what about the Saints? 2 of 13 from beyond the arc. That's not going to get it done in the modern game.
Not at all, not at all. As we talked about earlier, mate, a lot of pick and pop action where everyone needs to be able to shoot the three. They're getting some good action going to the hoop, but the three-point's just not dropping, so.
Who are the best shooters on the Saints? Who do they need to free up, get some action in the corners?
They have a lot of spot-up shooters. I don't know if too many of these guys can create for themselves from that distance. I know Shea Ili's certainly capable, but the old adage, mate, drive and kick, drive toward the side of the player that's a good spot-up shooter, Jordan Ngatai. Drive toward his man, force him to help out, kick out, open three, get some confidence up. Let these guys shoot a couple of easy ones and see what it does for this ball club. But that comes off the back of the likes of Bruce and Ely getting to the cup and then kicking out.
10 to play. 5-point lead for the Hawks. Let's see if the Saints can change the flow of this game. Here's Majuk to Peak. Good hands by Kenny. Shake of the head from Peak. He's not looking too fired up about the way things are going. All action to try and free up Temero on the baseline. Just has it stolen by Skeen. Things not going well. Here's Rusbatch. Nice job getting back by Peak to steal that, disrupt the play. Ely. 3 ball is no good.
There we go.
Saints shooting 15% from beyond the arc.
Questionable decision, I think, from Shea Ily again. Shooting low percentages and then shooting a 3 ball on the break. Maybe not the smartest option.
Just trying something to ignite his team, I'd say. A Hail Mary. Catch-up footy.
Yeah, certainly a 3 if it goes down. It does wonders for your club, but obviously if it doesn't, these Hawks have a chance to extend the lead, perhaps to 8.
Need a stop here. But Skeen is working the Saints from every angle.
So his 3-point shot able to open up other facets of his game. That time able to do a little up fake and get all the way to the hoop. That's what's dangerous when you can shoot the 3 and get to the hoop.
Ely crossing over. That's gone off his own kick, I think. Oh, lucky to keep that ball.
Glenn, you've been around enough basketball to know what's not going right for the Saints, mate. Give me your takedown on this.
I go back to what I said earlier in the game. I'm not sure they have an identity yet. I think identity is important. What kind of team are you? The Saints last year were a flat-out team. They got stops and ignited the break and shot the 3 with absolutely no hesitation. This team doesn't know whether it should go inside first, whether it should run everything through Ely, how to get people open in the corners. It just seems a little uncertain of itself.
Skeen again showing off his multifaceted game, that time posting up and just bullying Ngatai out the way.
See that? Just that things just a half step slow, like waiting for people to run into their spots in the offense.
Multi-handoffs, but no one looking to create. Mismatches
just has to go to work, and the hands by Kenny again on Peak, but oh, lucky.
Bit of a bailout there from Peak, yeah. Kenny's got some great hands down low. Second time he's been stripped in a row, but Peak able to track it down and put up a little floater.
Oh, Brandt took one step too many, but Rusbatch with the hustle play is what he's known for. Oh, Butler tried to step in and steal one. Ely to the lane, beautiful wraparound for Majuk.
Oh,
and he'll get to the line.
I think that's the identity this Saints team need to go with. Penetrate, drop off to their big boys, try to get some big dunks, get these guys to the line. They're struggling with a 3-point shot, obviously with no Corey Webster this year. I think that's what they need to play around with.
he was good last year. He was incredible in isolation, and then he also was making plays for other people. And he's left a massive hole in this team, and I guess Ty Wesley has too, who did a little bit of everything. He was like a Draymond Green.
Well, I think Shea Ili has the ability to play like Corey Webster. I know he likes to penetrate and get to the hoop a little bit more, but if he can come down off a couple of pin down screens and some UCLA cuts, that's just going to force switches, and then you get mismatches out of that.
They disrupt the high-low play and go the other way with Bruce. Little push-off, gets away with it. Short on the runner, Majuk hustling. Ili 3 ball, no good. Peak with another board. Bruce, oh, I thought he might cock the hammer there. Peak looking to Braswell for a play. Majuk, high screen, goes against it. Drives himself. Kenny is just too quick. His footwork's too quick for Peak, isn't he? He's always in position, waiting for him to bring the ball into the zone where he can get his hands on it.
3 times now that Peak's gone back to his left hand and Kenny's got a claw on it, so maybe that's in the scout. Maybe Peak is known to bring the ball out a little bit too much, Harden-esque, but just doesn't protect it enough.
Yeah, I'd like to see him cuff it. She's done a little bit in his time here in New Zealand. Keep his body between himself and the defense. To his credit, he's making them pay at the line.
Exactly what they need to do. If they're going to be down in the 4th and not much going offensively, stop the clock, get to the line. Some freebies could do this team wonders. Knocks them down. Back within 2.
7 to play. You'd think the Hawks would be looking for Skeen here, wouldn't they? Going to get him on the block.
Costly turnover. Skeen not getting into position.
Good D by Ngatai to not let him sit up down there too easily.
The Saints with an opportunity to take the lead back with a 3. Now's not the time to play conservative, though. I like a bit of aggression in basketball.
You got to have it. You got to have that swagger. Look at the man in front of you and believe that you can take them. Super job done by the mopping crew this evening. Just impeccable. They're not afraid to go the extra mile. Called back by the ref there to give it another go. Zero qualms about that. Full court pressure. My guess is that Ili will dribble his way out of this.
I wonder if they'll switch or they'll just go man to man. Bruce is
Bruce.
going to bring the ball up. Oh, it's an easy leak out.
Oh, Majuk stepped on the baseline, hasn't he? Or she called a foul down there.
They called a foul on Jared Kenny wrapping up Majuk. It didn't look like he went for the ball and the hands went over the shoulders. In any other league, that could be a unsportsmanlike. Bit more rugged in New Zealand League though, mate.
Yeah, good. Little line up on the stripe there.
Foul was obviously on the floor. Now, this play could be called bulldoze.